world, it's Fudge, and I've been really obsessed with Marvel Rivals recently. And as a professional character designer of over 3 years, I just wanted to gush about my favorite designs for the game. And by professional character designer, I actually mean Hero Forge Addict. But character design is really dear to me. I've always been fascinated by how characters look and the effect it has on me. As a kid, I could see one cool character and try to base an entire story on it. And the art direction in Rivals fascinated me so much, I downloaded a hero shooter. I hate PvP, but so far, the stellar art direction is deluding me into enjoying the game, so that's great. I'm aware that this is not an original concept, and of course these are just my opinions, but I'll do my best to bring in some objective character design commentary. But at the end of the day, I'm not a real professional, just a starry-eyed goober. Cloak and Dagger is possibly the most unique character in the game, in that it's not a character, but two. Dagger, the light who restores, and Cloak, the shadow who consumes. Cloak looks stellar in the long, flowing, cloak, with all its spooky tendrils, but the star of the show is of course the night sky, or rather, the dark force dimension that lines Cloak. It's like a projection, staying the same even as the character moves. It's such a simple yet trippy effect that's always satisfying. It's smart how they used a much lighter color for the hood, as it makes the rest look even darker. And the spot of contrast added by the chain on his forearm is a really smart addition. Without it, his left arm would be lost in the darkness. We'll see just how intentional the art direction is as the video goes on. Dagger's sporting a more typical supersuit. Despite the suit being mostly white, it's not boring by any means, incorporating multiple shades and layers to keep it interesting. And a bit of blue is dispersed throughout, adding subtle highlights. The dark shades around her waist are an interesting choice. It seems a bit contrary to the angelic vibes, but they serve two purposes: to add some contrast and to show off her form a little more. Then there's the stealthy jacket on the upper chest and arms. The lines of the suit continue into the lines of the jacket, making it almost disappear from certain angles. But it does its job, adding some variation to her silhouette. Alone, each character is a bit simple, but together, they're a work of art. I just love the idea of a couple bound together by interdimensional energy or something. It's kind of wholesome. The Winter Soldier's always been an awesome looking character, and Rivals does not disappoint. The mask looks incredibly intense, paired with the scar, heavy eyebrows, and dark unkempt hair. It creates the scary face the Winter Soldier should have. The military color of the jacket really fits the character, and of course, it's sporting the practical pockets and straps. The simple black shirt makes sure things don't get too colorful. Bucky's not exactly the flashy type. Okay, I can't hold back anymore. I freaking love robot arms.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude!
The arm is beautifully covered in a mosaic of armor plates, with a hint of machinery poking through, which is always cool. All of Bucky's abilities utilize the arm, pairing excellent art with excellent animation. The big red star, accompanied by subtle red accents, gives just the right amount of flair. Even the darker characters benefit from a little pizzazz. Buckles and other tactical gizmos cover the outfit, but most of them have similar looking cousins, I'll call them, to maintain some consistency in the detailing. There isn't too much to say about the lower half. It's tactical, the boots look very solid, the red stripes help to break up the sea of green, and the type of lines you see in the pants matches the shirt. But we can't forget the gun. This thing looks massive and punchy, which fits the AoE damage it deals in game. The silver plating along with the glowing red accents matches the arm. All things considered, it reminds me of the Halo Magnum. You know what's really great? When Scarlet Witch is actually Scarlet. Dude! They went all in with the red. Even the hair is scarlet, which is awesome. Speaking of hair, all the hair on Rivals looks good, but Wando's looks particularly excellent. Look at all the big curling layers and the way it reacts to light and movement. The massive hair also does wonders for her silhouette, enhancing the feelings of power and beauty she manifests. Something really intriguing I noticed is how there are triangles everywhere on this character. The buckles on the boots, the zipper pulls, the fringes of the skirt, the buckles of the belt thing, the shoulder pads, the earrings, and of course, the crown. Details like this show there's real intention behind a design. I thought it was strange her eyes aren't red, but obviously so they can turn red when she's using her powers. Additionally, the greenish eyes are subtle, so your gaze is first drawn to more important elements like the crown. I know from making characters myself that red eyes are very distracting and will often be the first thing you notice. Rival Scarlet Witch looks so royal, like an evil queen in an epic fantasy movie, which fits with her lore of being one of the most powerful magic users in the universe. And let's just appreciate the shoulder pads for a second. They add a look of deadly authority to her silhouette, while also they're just freaking rad. I love how they weren't afraid to use purple. As a primarily MCU fan, I never got to see Hawkeye in all the purple glory he's meant to exhibit. I can see the costume designers being afraid to dress Jeremy Renner in purple because, it's not considered the most masculine color, and it'd be hard to make a purple guy look tactical. But Rivals did it! The purple by no means dilutes his ferocity. If this guy were aiming at you, you know you're dead. Which is exactly how it is in gameplay.
Double kill! That's 3! Wow, 4 in a row! 5! That's amazing! 6 in a row! Way
Ready to get this buggy rolling?
Hawkeye isn't a superhero, so I really appreciate how tactical and practical his outfit is. Just like the Winter Soldier, there's straps and pouches everywhere to hold his gear. But unlike Bucky, he's sporting some armor to protect his soft, normal person flesh. What appears to be light protection, perhaps Kevlar, ordains his lower chest and thighs. Additionally, this layer serves to break up the black from the pants. The tones might feel unbalanced without it. Metal armor plates are scattered about, but they're used sparingly as archers stereotypically don't wear much armor. I'm a big fan of how most of the armor is around his heart. If you're going to protect something, may as well be that. The asymmetry suits the archer aesthetic. His right arm is free to move about while proudly displaying some muscles, and the left side is hosting the sleek swords and the cloak thing's shoulder. I was confused as to the cloak's purpose. It's far too small to conceal his identity, but it must be to protect his eyes from rain and such. Rivals designs tend to have a lot of detail, but most of the time, those details serve a greater purpose. Speaking of his head, blonde Hawkeye never once occurred to me, especially not with a man bun and strands. But I like it a lot. The light color adds some contrast, and the length flows with the cloak. And now we'll move on to what is by far my favorite design in Rivals. The first 4 I didn't rank by number, because I really like all of them and didn't want to put any of them higher than the other, but this is number 1. There is no end to how sick I find this design. It's the reason I'm making this video in the first place. Heck, it's even one of the reasons I got the game. First thing I noticed about Psylocke is obviously the purple hair. Purple is my favorite color. I don't know, it's something about the combination of blue's deepness and red's flashiness that I've always just adored. And they did not dilute the purple, rather picking one of the most eye-catching purples available. And I love it! And immediately underneath that, we have a bright red scarf, which is really interesting because purple and red can clash badly. But the shades are balanced, with the red having a pinker hue to match the purple. And the colors don't end there. She's also sporting beautiful bright blue, which effortlessly matches the red and purple. The metals are gold to give it that extra flair, and then black and gray keeps it all in line. The colors are well distributed, with the darks occupying the lower half, and the eye-catching reds and purple intensifying the upper. This creates a path your eyes follow through the character, ensuring you absorb the important details first. And I've only talked about the colors so far. The outfit's freaking fantastic! I really dig the tall boots and the skirt. It's always what I've gone for in Monster Hunter. On the topic of legs, These cutouts are an interesting way to adapt the leg bands on the traditional Psylocke design. We even see the trait echoed in the arms, which is some nice visual consistency. The big braided belt brings the red to more of the outfit, with a stylish buckle to boot. And we got a nice dose of asymmetry. Sarashi on the right, with a shoulder pad and the butterfly decorated tunic on the left. Oh, and this scarf literally fades into magical butterflies! It's such a creative choice that transforms a typical scarf into a mesmerizing display. We got more butterflies on her scabbard. She gains these glowing butterfly wings when she uses some of her powers. The crossguard of her sword is a butterfly. I didn't know butterflies could be badass, yet here we are. Oh, and I can't forget the eyes. Normally they're a frosty blue, matching her tunic, but when she's powered up, they'll assume the pink color of her psionic powers. Both colors are striking and visually cohesive. I feel like this design was catered specifically to me. It's a fantastical warrior woman with a unique look that doesn't require sexualization to catch your eye. She has a big ol' sword that's been distinctly personalized, and then it's all decorated in a beautiful superhero color palette, including some of the best purple hair I've seen, done up in possibly the coolest haircut ever, and the butterfly motif creates an iconic signature. I think I'm in the minority with default Psylocke being my favorite design in the game. Most people are super into the traditional skin available for the character because, reasons. And that concludes my video. Thanks for listening to me fawn over game art for an extended period of time. And remember, be nice to your supports. Also, they can't heal you if they don't have line of sight.